What's up YouTube, Silver Dragons here, and in this video I want to talk about 5 reasons why you should actually not stack silver. So let's do it! Thank you so much for watching my video, I sincerely appreciate it. If you'd like to learn more about investing in precious metals, or if you just want to watch awesome videos about gold and silver, then make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Okay, so I have to preface this video first off by saying I'm not a financial advisor, I'm just another dude here on YouTube, and these are my opinions. And I also have to say that I'm pro silver. I think that silver stacking is extremely important. I think it's a great way to save money over a long period of time. That's one reason that a lot of people actually stack silver. And so don't think that because I'm talking about reasons not to stack silver that I'm against it or I'm not for it or whatever. Obviously, most of my videos on this channel are about silver stacking. And also, if you have opinions that are different than mine, feel free to leave those down below in the comment section. If we disagree on something, I'd love to talk with you about it. So anyway, let's just get into my 5 reasons why you should not stack silver. And the first of which is if you have no savings account at all. So when I talk about silver stacking, like I said, most of us stackers think of our stack as a sort of physical savings account. When you buy silver, you're taking that fiat currency and converting it into a precious metal like gold or silver. And if you have no savings other than your stack and you actually needed some money or cash for an emergency, you would have to dip into your silver stack. So let me pose to you this question. If you had no savings at all and you had $1,000, would it be better to save that in cash or put it into silver? I think it would be better to have it in cash. I think you should take that first 1,000 and actually just have it in dollar bills, fiat currency, whatever your country has. That way, if you have an emergency, you can use this to pay for that emergency and not have to sell your silver. Because if you take that $1,000 and you go buy silver right away, then you're probably going to lose money if you have to sell it. And I've talked about this in other videos in the past, and I can't emphasize enough that you don't want to buy silver and then have to go and sell it right away, because it's almost always going to be a loss unless you were able to like perfectly time the market or something. Maybe you bought it on a dip and then got lucky and sold it when it spiked up briefly. So that's super rare. You definitely need to have some fiat cash on hand, and you don't have to have hundreds. You can have 20s or 10s or whatever. Sometimes smaller denominations are actually better to hold, but that is the first reason. So if you have no savings at all, then I don't think you should be silver stacking. Get yourself some cash saved up first. Okay, what's the second reason why you should not be silver stacking? And that is if you have a ton of credit card debt. Now, this one might be kind of controversial. And so I'm not saying you can't have a credit card. I'm not saying don't use credit cards. There's actually a lot of good reasons to use them. One of which is for buying silver. A lot of people will buy silver on eBay with a cashback credit card, and they can actually maximize their silver purchases by, let's say, spending $400 on eBay, buying a tube of American Silver Eagles, getting that 3% cash back, and then using that money to go towards more silver. And then, of course, they pay off the credit card right away. They don't accrue any interest. I'm not talking about people that use credit cards like that. I'm talking about the people that have a ton of credit card debt, like $10,000 or $20,000 plus in credit card debt. And I know there's a lot of stackers out there that have no debt, but there also are a lot of stackers out there that have a considerable amount of debt. So in my opinion, you should really focus on paying off that credit card debt first, because it's so crazy. You're literally paying money to owe someone money. I mean, how insane is that? So if you had $20,000 in credit card debt and you were just making the minimum payments, you could be paying like $500 a month, but most of that is just going to the interest. And so you're really only paying off like $100 a month, and you're going to be paying on those credit cards for a very long time, and you're going to end up paying so much money. It's so much smarter, so much better to pay down that debt first and then stack silver. I'm not saying you can't buy any silver at all if you have credit card debt. I'm not saying that. I've never been in credit card debt myself. I'm saying that, you know, maybe buy a little bit of silver just so you have some on hand, but really focus on paying down that debt first. So that's a reason I think you should not be silver stacking. And that might be controversial. There might be people that disagree with me and think you should just put a second mortgage on your house and max out every credit card and buy a ton of silver because the world's going to end. I don't think that's going to happen. That's not what I recommend. And so I wanted to bring that up in this video. Okay, the third reason to not stack silver is if you think it's going to get you rich quick. This is not a get rich quick scheme. Silver stacking generally is people buying silver who want to, over a very long period of time, retain their wealth. Now, I know there's a lot of channels out there and people that talk about silver going to $50 an ounce or $100 an ounce or whatever, but to be perfectly honest, no one knows what's going to happen to the price of silver. Not even the all-powerful Google. They have no idea, right? So silver could even go down this year. As I'm filming, silver is about $18 an ounce. Could it go down? Absolutely. We could see silver go down to $16 an ounce. Last year, silver was down to around $14 an ounce. And so the price of silver does fluctuate. It is fairly volatile. And so if you're buying silver, if you're stacking silver thinking, I'm going to buy a lot of silver now, it's going to go up very soon, I'm going to make a ton of money and then sell it and get rich, I hate to break it to you, but there's a very good chance that won't happen. And so that's one reason you should for sure not stack silver. For instance, let's say you had $10,000 and you wanted to put 10 grand into silver and you think, okay, let me go buy a monster box of American Silver Eagles, which is 500 of them. And if they were 20 bucks an eagle, which seems about right for a monster box, that would be 10 grand. And then your plan is to wait for silver to go up to 50 bucks an ounce and sell the whole thing and make all this money. That might not happen as fast as you want it to. It could take a decade for silver to go up to $50 an ounce. Now, over the long period of time, we have seen silver go up. I mean, back when I was born in the early 90s, silver was like $3 an ounce, and now it's $18 an ounce. So yeah, over the course of time, generally it does go up, but really it's not a get-rich-quick scheme. So don't stack silver if you're just wanting to get rich quick. It's really unlikely that could happen. I mean, it could happen. There obviously is that potential, but that is not a reason to stack. Most of us stack for savings, for long-term savings at that. So, okay, that was reason number 3. What is reason number 4? And that is if you have no other retirement. And I might be talking more to the younger crowd with this one, but in my opinion, if you have no 401k or no Roth IRA or no retirement at all other than silver, you're doing it wrong. The vast majority of stackers only have maybe 1 or 10% of their portfolio in physical precious metals. Most of their money for retirement is actually in some sort of retirement plan. That could be either a 401k or a Roth IRA or some other form of retirement. But it's really important. I mean, a lot of people think the world's going to end tomorrow, right? I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to have crazy currency collapse anytime in the near future. If we did, yes, it would be great to have a lot of money in silver, but I think that you should hedge your bets, definitely diversify, and really take advantage of a 401k match if your employer has something like that. And it's extremely important to do that when you're young. So when I was 17, actually one of the jobs I worked, as part of the orientation, they came in and they talked to us about 401k and saving for retirement and how it's really important to get a lot of money in there when you're young. So if you're under 30, you should really be putting as much money as you can into your retirement account. And if you have extra money, of course, put it into savings in the form of precious metals. I think it's great to diversify into precious metals. Obviously, that's what I'm doing. But I think if you have no other retirement at all, if you just put all of your money into silver or gold and just think that's how I'm going to save for retirement, that's not the best idea, at least in my opinion. And so I really wanted to cover that in this video. So don't stack silver if you have no other retirement. Use it as maybe a small part of your retirement plan. And I think a lot of other YouTubers would agree with me as well, and silver stackers, that you should heavily have money into your other retirement and then put some of it into silver. Okay. Now, what is the fifth reason not to stack silver? So number 5. And this one might be a little controversial as well. This is a little bit different than the other ones I talked about, but I really wanted to bring it up because I think it's a great point and not something that everyone thinks about. And it is, if you have nowhere to safely store your silver, then you should not be silver stacking. So what is silver stacking? Obviously, it's buying physical silver. So you're going to need some place to store this stuff. It's a physical item that you have to put somewhere. And it's not a great idea to buy a ton of silver and just have it in a shoebox under your bed or in your closet. And I know there's probably some people watching right now that are like, oh my gosh, that's my hiding place. It's in the Nike shoebox. I can literally see it right now from where I'm sitting. And if that's you, I'm not trying to call you out or anything. I'm just saying that you should have a good place to store it. So maybe before you start buying all this physical silver, especially if you plan on buying a lot of physical silver and stacking a lot of silver, you should consider a place to store it, a place to keep it, so it can be safe. Now, I've made videos on this in the past. There's lots of people that talk about a good safe to put your silver in. Some people recommend keeping it at a bank. I don't recommend doing that. There is issues with that. The bank can keep that stuff from you, go on holiday or whatever, and there's trouble getting to it. I think it's better to have it, I mean, obviously somewhere you can easily get to. Not all of us can have a hidden bunker with a alarm system that's battery backed up and a full armory with, all this crazy security and booby traps. Not all of us can have that, but you can take measures to make sure that your precious metals are safe. And so I think at a minimum, you should really try and get at least a big gun safe, hopefully in a hidden room or somewhere that no one knows where it is, to make it hard for someone to steal. An alarm system is great. There's all sorts of stuff you can do to make sure your silver is protected and it's safe. I don't want to get too negative, but I know there are other people in the silver community that have talked about them actually getting robbed and them losing their silver stack. So I'd hate for someone to stack all this silver and then lose it because it wasn't safely stored. And so I think that's one thing you should really consider before stacking silver is how you're going to store it. Now, if you're already stacking silver, if you're already a heavy silver stacker, then you probably got a plan. But I wanted to bring that up. And also, I think that if you're a small-time silver stacker, if you just have like a few hundred ounces, then it's not the end of the world to have that stored, somewhere that's hidden, maybe not locked away, but it's like in a hidden place that's hard to find. I think that can be okay. Obviously not recommended, but definitely for the larger silver stackers, the guys that got the really heavy stacks, thousands and thousands of ounces. I mean, this is real money, and you want to make sure it's secure. So that's a reason why I think you should not stack silver if you can't store it safely. I don't think that's that out of the question to say that. But anyway, like I said, I am pro silver. I think there's lots of great reasons to stack silver. And in fact, I made a video called something about investing in silver in 2020 and reasons you should do it. I'll put a link up in the corner to that video as well as down in the description. You should definitely check that one out. And I wanted to welcome you again to leave a comment on this video. If anything I said you disagree with or you think I'm just way off track here, please leave me a comment and we can talk about it. But to recap, the 5 reasons were: if you have no savings account at all, if you have a ton of credit card debt, if you want to stack silver to just get rich, if you have no other retirement, no 401k or anything else, and then if you have nowhere to safely store it. So those were the 5 reasons that I think you should not stack silver. But anyway, I do want to say a massive thank you so much for watching my video, and I will see you all in the next one. Silver Dragons out.